Playoffs. Playoffs? Talk about playoffs? We can't try to win a game talking about playoffs.
Mr. Mora. Legend.
Jim Mora. What a legend. Not too many people know that reference. It's like already been probably 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, there's clips of it. You see it all the time around this time of year. You see him, they'll show it, It's just great. I don't know if people know the context of it like we do, the young people, but it's still great.
Congratulations. We finished the season with our best week of the year. It was 5-0. Thanks
5-0, baby.
Thanks to a very chalky week 18, which we needed to happen. We'll talk about that. I want to talk about that in a second. But anyway, we ended the season at 51-39. I forget what place we were tied for, but we finished in the money at the and thank you, by the way, to Splash Sports for hosting that contest. We had a lot of fun, a lot of contests like that. The Pick 5, maybe next year with your son living in Las Vegas, we'll do the Circa Millions Pick 5.
Sure.
Which I think the most encouraging thing about our season was that the winner of that contest, the one we were in, was $250,000, and I think first place was like 35 grand, or maybe it was 40 grand because they paid out a lot of places, which I like. Was the winner had 58 and we had 51. We finished 7 games behind first place, and in the Circa Millions, the winner had 61.
We're only
10 games throughout 18 weeks separated us from
$1 million.
And basically 61. What's the math on that? I'm just curious real quick. 61 divided by 90 is 67.7%. That won you $1 million. I want like the whole world should know that.
That's incredible.
That the smartest, best handicappers in this country,
2 out of 3,
competed for that. And if you think you can do better than 67%, that is at the absolute highest end.
Yeah, I mean, you go 2-1 every week. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Well, and that for us, like just having a winning week every week, like if you just go 3-2 as your worst, you're going to finish, that's 60%, right?
Felt good to go 5-0 last week. Capping it off with the Steeler game with the missed kick, and then the Boswell with the blocked field extra point that went wide, and then this.
I'm sure at the very end of that game, I was so much happier than you were. You must have thought you were going to lose when Likely caught that pass.
I was remarkably calm, but yes, when he caught the pass, I was kind of upset at Ramsey I thought Ramsey misplayed the ball.
He did.
He had a real easy opportunity either to go for his lower back and try and rupture his spleen, or
separate him,
go after the ball, and he did neither.
He just mistimed it. Like you said, he mistimed the whole thing.
But I love what Jalen Ramsey said after the game in the post-game presser. He basically said, listen, this isn't on the refs. I need to play better. I wasn't good today, and I'll be better. And you know what? That's what a leader needs to do. He was brought here to win a Super Bowl, right? He's getting older. He's getting a little long in the tooth. And a lot of these guys on the Steelers, this is their last opportunity. This is their last run. And they're riding with a 42-year-old quarterback who's won a Super Bowl. And I think it's huge that they got that win. I mean, I honestly didn't think Baltimore deserved to be in the playoffs based on how they played all year. It just wasn't. There was something wrong with Baltimore the whole season, And the Steelers had shown moments where, like, smashing Detroit in Detroit, going into New England and turning them over 5 times and winning that game. Like, they have some what I would call quality wins on their schedule, on their schedule. And I think the loss to Cleveland, being the more historic rival, is, I mean, it was shocking to most outsiders, but to people that know that rivalry, it really shouldn't have been that shocking,
right?
Because that to the Browns, that game meant a lot.
Yeah,
it really did.
Yeah, not surprised at all by the finish, and was happy that he missed the extra point, because again, like, we could have ended up in overtime and losing by 6, like or by 7.
Yeah.
So that was great. And I forget our other picks, but we were chalky. You weren't happy with that Denver pick with Denver.
Yeah.
And you know what I wanted to acknowledge and really maybe think about next year when we get to week 18, like some shit started happening that I forgot was very possible and did happen. Like teams fake punting from their own 20, like early in the game, or like going for it on fourth when they never would. But just like Miami started doing that in New England. And if they start converting that stuff, like God knows what happens. But
how about what Green Bay did with 3 seconds left, down 17-0, kick the field goal to cover?
Yeah. Well, they were down 17-3.
No, that was the final. I thought they were getting shut out.
Well, it was 16-0, I think.
Yeah, 16. Right. And it was a 13.5 point line.
My God.
And LaFleur's like, we're not going to get shut out. You know, we're not getting shut out by anybody. Kick the field goal.
Right.
Great. I mean, it's so sick.
Yeah.
But I will say, you know, listen, we went 5-0 in week 18. So part of our strategy, I guess, next year is probably to that was our best week. But we could also, we have a skip week.
No.
Oh, there's no skip week in this?
Not every contest has that. Oh. And I even think, I know the Circa Millions doesn't.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no skip. There was in the DraftKings and Pick 5. Yes. We didn't do that. So yeah, there was no skip. There were 90 picks that needed to be made, and I always like skipping week 1 because it's just like you have no idea who's going to come out of the gate. You know, totally. And that to me is the hardest week, is week 1.
I agree. Let's move on to these games, man. This is going to be. I mean, the college games are exciting. I mean, obviously last night was a blowout. Indiana just massacred Oregon. Yeah, but the first game I thought was very good. Miami against who'd they beat? That was a great game. Ole Miss, great game.
Ole Miss, yeah,
great.
Or as really Brad would call them, Old Miss.
It's Ole Miss.
I know.
Ole Miss.
So let's get into this week's card. I mean, we're not in a contest anymore, but maybe we'll try to get a consensus between yourself and me.
We won $400, right?
And those will be our podcast picks, basically.
Don't we have $400 coming to us?
We have $400. I didn't see any like really good playoff contests, but a bunch of these guys are doing squares, so maybe we'll buy some squares.
Oh, the squares, yeah. Okay.
And if not, we could maybe roll it into a golf survivor. I think I'm
tried that. Bail. It's very hard. Very hard.
I think I'm going to bail on that one that I usually do because there's only 300 people in it, and there's a lot of money, but I've seen some stuff on Splash that actually has a lot more money and a lower entry fee. And I just kind of think like I may do that this year instead of higher entry with fewer people. Anyway,
I'll tell you,
let's talk about the first game.
Games, there's a lot of data out there. I'm sure a lot of people know a lot of this stuff because it's all over everywhere. Not just the Action Network site that I've been using all year for really like detailed minutia type data, but just general stuff. I mean, I could run through really quick.
Yeah, let's talk Rams Panthers. That's our first game today at 4:30. It's up at wannamakebet.com. Line is currently sitting at 10.5. I know there's been a little push pull on that number out there. There's, it was 10, then it went to
10.5 all week. I didn't really see any move at all. It's been 10.5.
We just talked like DraftKings is back at 10. I know FanDuel is still 10.5. I want to make a bet. We're going to stay at 10.5, and I really want to try to stay on half points at Wanna because a lot of these leagues are coming down to the end, and I'd rather not have pushes, especially if market consensus is really like very solid. So 10.5, 45.5 here. You want to kick this one off? Share the data.
Well, I mean, listen, the data favors certainly does not favor road favorites. Road favorites generally in the wild card round struggle. Historically, that would be the Rams here. 8-13-1 against the spread. But I'm kind of, listen, they have that revenge thing going. Obviously, they lost to Carolina earlier in the year in a spot just like this. Carolina is an under 500 team that lost their last 2 games and still backdoored into the playoffs. So they've been very good as underdogs all year. I certainly think if you look on paper, the Rams are a way better team. It's not even close from a personnel standpoint. But the thing I'm going to hang my hat on when I'm laying these points, and I'm going to lay them and go against this trend, is the quarterback thing. Rookie quarterbacks, first-time quarterbacks in the playoffs tend to struggle. It's no surprise. They're 10-27 straight up, and 14-22-1 against the spread. Super Bowl winning quarterbacks as underdogs, right? Which is Matthew Stafford, 64-25-2 against the spread. So you got Rodgers and Stafford this week that qualify there. I am going to fade Caleb. I'm going to fade Drake May, and I'm going to fade the Carolina kid, Bryce Young. That's just how I'm going to play it. I think the Rams are going to win this game. I think they'll score 30 points, and I think that'll be enough to cover 10.5. I don't think Bryce Young and Carolina is capable of scoring mid to high 20s. I'm going to bet that they don't. And I think this game is something like 31-17, 31-10 even, something like that. That's my take on the whole thing with this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think like when this line first came out, I did like Carolina, and I was thinking about the fact that they beat them at home already.
Yeah.
And they found something in that game, but I think it was a bit of a trap game for the Rams. And I think, look, at a high level, you look at this game and it is the NFL's number one offense against the worst defense that made it to the playoffs, right? Can we agree on that?
Are they worse than Pittsburgh? DVOA?
Yes.
They are.
Yeah, and by the way, I have the recency bias at DVOA. I figured it out, and they are, Carolina, first of all, is ranked 22nd based on recency.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense is ranked 20th, and their defense is ranked 20th.
Okay.
Their offense is ranked 26th, and their defense is ranked 20th. I mean, it's awful. It's awful. There's no, I'm not going to bet on Carolina. I think it's big revenge. I know Devontae's playing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm expecting we're going to see a really great effort out of the Rams in this game. And I also think, look, to me, there's only one question in this game, and that is Carolina going to backdoor it? And there is a case to be made for that. And you know what it is? I looked at the DVOA rankings of special teams for all these playoff games.
Yeah.
And guess who's not very good?
The Rams.
That's right. Their special teams rank is they're 26th in the league. So that's not good. When you're scoring a lot and kicking off and people are returning the ball to the 45-yard line. And it's a lot to ask from Bryce, but I think I can kind of see that we may be watching this in the fourth quarter and, with a 17-point lead, or a 20-point lead.
Totally could happen. Listen, yeah. McVay's been really good as a road favorite straight up against the spread. He has a winning record, but it's a lot tighter. It's like when his spreads are over 4, he's like 12-9 against the spread, 19-2 straight up. So I could see a lot of people in WANA finding 2 other games and throwing the Rams in a bunch of 3-team teasers and saying there's no way the Rams are going to lose this game, laying the 130 and saying, I'm just going to try, to take my 50, 75, 100,000 units here, pair it with 2 other games I love, move the points 10, and try and hit this thing, a home run 3-team teaser. I could see a lot of people doing that. We know players that love those 3-team teasers, even 4-team teasers in Mega. So that wouldn't surprise me. I'm just going to say, I think the revenge thing is big. I don't really like the way Carolina has been playing on offense. I thought Seattle's defense, I know it's very good, and the Rams are a step down, but really exposed Carolina of not really being able to do anything offensively. And they couldn't even beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay stinks. So, I think this one, to me, I don't know how the Rams don't score in the 30s. And I think if they do get to the 30s, it'll be enough to cover. I just don't see Carolina getting much more than 20 points in this game. And if I lose this bet, that's going to be why, because they're going to score 23 or 24, and they're going to lose by 8, 9, or 7, something like that. That's how I'm going to lose. So, but I'm still willing to take that chance with Stafford. I like fading these young quarterbacks. in their first opportunity in the playoffs. I think it's a big step up in pressure for them.
Yeah.
And I know Carolina's at home, but this is a little different than that Hasselbeck Seattle team. They don't have Marshawn Lynch. They don't have the Legion of Doom defense, So this is a different story for me. So I like the Rams.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I think if there's anything to be said about the total, I would say I think there's a decent case to be made for the over. Again, because of what I said about the special teams, there's going to be opportunities for Carolina to score. I don't know if they will. And I also think that the Rams defense, which for most of the season was incredible.
Yeah.
However, I don't know if you agree with this, but for the last month or so, the Rams defense
has not been great.
Yeah. And I don't see them losing this game in any way, shape, or form. But if you're talking about, is Carolina going to score when they've been able to score all year, especially at home, and they have a great two-headed running monster, and Canales is going to try to control the game and not let it get out of hand. I think they'll get in for 14 points and maybe even 21. And that 21 could be the back door. Maybe the 17 is the back door. But
yeah,
the over to me is
what is the total
side of 45.5.
That's low.
Yeah,
that's low.
So,
I could see it going over.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, you get another statistic that I was looking at that I thought was interesting. When you get high total games, outdoor games, like you're going to have in Jacksonville, 51 or over points, there's a huge trend to the under. 19-8-1 against the spread comes under.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, that's an interesting thing that I found in these high total outdoor games that are, the public is betting on high scoring. Those skew to the under 19-8-1 against the spread. So that's something to keep in mind for the Jacksonville game.
Okay. Let's move on to tonight, which is Packers-Bears. By the way, apologies to everybody. We got this pod out late this week because Cello and I were super busy. But Packers-Bears. Bears are getting 1.5 at home. It's the third time these two have played each other in the last month, I think, or, not calendar month, but I'm pretty sure it's only been, maybe it's 5 weeks. They played each other twice. Jordan Love did not play in the second game. That was that crazy night game with Willis. But 1.5 Packers laying on the road, 44.5. I think the big question everybody has on this game is just the health of the Packers, specifically Jordan Love. He's playing. He's coming off concussion. Josh Jacobs is an absolute full go.
Oh, yeah.
He said he was feeling close to normal on Wednesday of this week. He had the knee contusion in week 11 at the Giants. He kind of hasn't been right since. But, he's kind of been banged up since then. And then on the defensive side, for the Packers, I think they'll be okay. Evan Williams is fine, and that was a big question. Bullard is questionable, and that's not good in terms of covering these Chicago wide receivers. On the Chicago side, Adunze is a go. He's been out, and for the rest of them, I don't think they got any. Yeah,
the kid Wicks is out for Green Bay.
Yeah.
But they got Jalen Reed back. I think they're going to be fine. I mean, I have Romeo Dobbs. Listen, this is a game to me I think is going to be really fun to watch. I thought that both times they played, I thought it was really, really good football. Obviously, the second time, I believe, was when Love got concussed. And then, the game wasn't really the same after that. But
it's going to get very chippy, right?
Yeah, got chippy. It was, listen, I thought it was a dirty hit.
I'm saying it will.
I'm just going to fade Caleb.
Are you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this game I think is always. I don't think it's the intensity you get with Steelers Ravens, but it's just a notch below. Like this is a real rivalry in the NFL. It's been a real rivalry.
I think it's every bit the same, even more. Like it's older because they've hated each other for 100 years, and I think that the fact that they knocked Love out of the game is going to make it even more chippy. And the cold weather and just the playoff atmosphere. I mean, the referees are going to have their hands full with these emotions, like from the get-go.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I'm going to fade Caleb in this game. It's his first real shot. I know he played a lot of big-time games in football with USC, but this is the NFL. It's Ben Johnson's first job. I think LaFleur is pretty experienced. He's been very, very good. in December games and January games in general. I think Love's going to have a chip on his shoulder, and I just think that they're going to, they're just going to have enough. Like I could see it very similar to how Caleb a couple times has had the ball in his hands at the end of games, and he's needed that one more throw and he hasn't made it. I can remember the San Fran game. I can remember the Green Bay game earlier in the year. I think it was similar where he had an opportunity late and didn't get it. I just don't think they're going to have enough. And I think everyone's writing Green Bay off, including me, as a Super Bowl team because of Micah Parsons, obviously. But that doesn't mean they can't go in and win a game with a short spread. I think the right team is favored here, honestly, even though Green Bay has kind of struggled down the stretch. The experience of Love in the playoffs and winning these games in the past, I think, is going to matter. I think they have enough offense to do it. And I just don't know if Caleb's going to be able to make that last play. So I don't love this game, but if you're sitting at home and you need to gamble, which obviously everyone in Megabucks likes to do, I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah. I'm with you. I am with you. I think it's time to sell the Bears. I mean, they lost their last 2 games of the season, so they're actually trending down. I hated, what I saw from their defense in the San Francisco game. It was just like teams running up and down the field, and so I'm siding in my mind with the better defense here, and I'm going to basically, that's going to be part of my handicapping strategy in general. And I know, like, from a recency bias perspective, like on the weighted DVOA, that the Packers are actually, basically I have the Bears ranked 10th and the Packers ranked 15th. But when it comes to defense, I still have, the defensive ranking of the Packers is 19th. And I really, again, that's the recency bias. Like, I really think they've fallen off over the past month. I'm with you. That, long way of saying I'm with you on the Packers, but I'm very much inclined from a betting standpoint, with so many options this weekend, to stay away from this game. Like, to me, this is a great game to watch. Yep. I really, really, truly in my heart believe this will come down to the final possession. I don't think you can make a case for there to be a true edge. If you forced me to bet it, I would take, in my mind, the better defense and the experience of LaFleur. He's been there. He's won playoff games. Yep. And so, I'm with you. I like the Packers, but would it surprise me if the Bears are having a storybook season? And, if things fall right for the Bears, I don't know if you've thought about this at all, like the whole playoffs playing out.
They could make a run with that offense.
Well, if they win this game and the Rams beat Seattle, then they're going to host the NFC Championship game because they're the 2 seed. So it's sort of like, part of me wants to see that happen. And again, I'm staying away from this one. I don't feel like I would feel confident. You're just like, if you have to have a bet, like most people do, I would throw it in on Green Bay, but in general, I'm saying, it's a pass.
A buddy of mine on my softball team has a huge futures ticket on Chicago to win the Super Bowl.
Does he?
It's gonna pay him over $10,000 if they win. Yeah. So he's obviously rooting for Chicago. Listen, I think it's close to a coin flip game. Over 60% of the public is on the Chicago Bears, which made me kind of lean even a little bit more Green Bay. And I just like to fade rookie quarterbacks, and I'm going to fade all 3 of them. And you know what? I think I should go at least 2-1 with that strategy. So I'm going against Bryce. I'm going against Caleb.
Okay. What about you didn't mention
Drake May? That's tomorrow, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm going against him too.
You're saying just today. Okay, let's move on to tomorrow. So the first game, and I think kind of the most interesting game of the entire weekend, and on some level,
incredible,
is the Jacksonville Buffalo game.
Sick.
I don't know. Absolutely. I have a strong opinion about this game, and I hope I don't change my mind. I mean, how well do I know myself to even be saying that? But I want to hear the data, but I just think, and like you said at the beginning of the year, and I think I want to try to stay the course with that, is that, Buffalo's time has come and gone, and it's time to pass the baton. And I just love the way the Jags have been playing. I basically, if you trust this weighted DVOA number, I think they're ranked third. Let me just double check that. They are ranked third, behind Seattle and the Rams. They've obviously been playing great football, and I'm willing to say, it's time for Trevor's been playing great for 2 months. Have we seen bad Trevor? 100%. But again, I want to rely on what I said earlier, which is I'm really trying to stay away from the bad defenses like the Bears. But I think especially in this game, with what we've seen from Buffalo, they haven't been able to stop anybody. And I just think the way that the Jags defense has been playing, combined with everything that Liam Cohen has been doing with Trevor and the acquisitions they made at the trade, and ETN, and how good the defense is playing, like, I think this is an easy pick. I like the Jags.
Yeah, this is the one game I'm not betting at all. So
really,
I'm not going to put $1 on this or a unit on it. I'm rooting for Josh Allen. I have no love for Jacksonville or Rocky Dennis. I understand they've had a pretty good season and they're playing very well. And I like Jacoby Myers. I thought it was a smart pickup, and he's been excellent for them. So they're a dangerous team. There's no question. They're a very good, well-coached team. They play a scary brand of defense right now with the two ends coming off and getting to the quarterback. So I'm with you on all that. Josh Allen, is a guy that I like and I'm going to be rooting for. My sister's a huge Bills fan. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to be rooting for her. Josh is 0-4 straight up and against the spread on the road in the playoffs. So that's a little bit distressing.
But it's also, let's be honest, that's involved Mahomes and Lamar for the most part.
Yeah, it has. And listen, he's done a lot to win those games. His defense lets him down every time.
I think these narratives also that, like, oh, finally Josh Allen is in the playoffs without Mahomes and Lamar, and now it's time. Now it's his time. Like, that's not landing with me. Like, just because they're gone, now it's his turn.
The thing with Buffalo is the roster's not that great.
Right.
They don't really have a number one. Who's their number one wide receiver? Shakir? Brandon Cooks?
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid? I mean, I just, listen, James Cook is awesome. He's a real threat running the ball. Josh Allen is probably going to run one in. He always does, right? He's dangerous around the goal line. And listen, that team believes in Josh Allen, that they can win any game at any stadium at any time. Mm-hmm. And he's shown that they can do that. They have lost 8 straight road playoff games. But like you said, a lot of that is to Mahomes, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. So the one thing the Bills this season, in the regular season, they're 5-1 against the spread against teams that are over 500. So they actually play their best ball against better teams. They struggle against the bad teams.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. It's probably why the line is really sharp here. This game's going to stay away from me. I'm sure everyone's going to have the over because they're going to think about high scoring here. But that stat we read earlier, this skews heavy to the under. 19-8-1 against the spread when you get these outdoor high total games. So from a standpoint of gambling, I might just bet a little on the under just to have something in the game and go with that trend. But other than that, I'm not going to bet the game. I'm just going to root for Buffalo.
That, by the way, you betting the under, to me, doesn't exactly correlate with Buffalo. That, to me, is like a statement that you kind of believe in the Jags defense and Buffalo's defense showing up, which, again, it would be, I don't know, it kind of would be something we haven't seen, right?
It's really nothing that I'm doing on my own. I'm looking at that stat and saying, wow, I like that number. 19-8-1 to the under in games where the total is 51 or over outdoor games. I'm just looking at the number and saying, I like that trend. Maybe I play that trend. Now, some may say, hey, like what you're saying, like, of course, there's going to be a lot of points in this game. Buffalo's defense isn't any good. And if they're going to have any chance at all, it's going to be a late second half comeback like they always seem to do. And the game's going to soar over the total. And, that's a game script thing. Maybe it does happen. But, looking at it, from the standpoint of just that one trend. I mean, I have no action in Megabucks in this game. This is the one game I didn't bet.
Okay. Let's move on. I like the Jags. You're passing like I was passing on the Bears game.
Yeah.
Let's go to 49ers Eagles.
Yes.
So this, man, God, this is a runaway train. When this line first came out, I saw 2.5. Then last maybe it was 3, and then immediately 3.5. It's just been a one-way action on Philly. Why don't you share the data on this game first? I have a pretty strong opinion.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think I was looking at FanDuel at the stats. There's a huge public play on San Francisco in this game, so I'm going to go against that. I think the Eagles are too much at home. I don't really trust what I'm seeing out of San Fran's defense, especially against Jalen Hurts at home. He's 5-0 straight up in the playoffs at home. He's 4-1 against the spread at home, and he's winning those games by 21 points per game. So he's also 31-5 straight up as a home favorite, including 13-1 straight up in December or later. I know San Fran's offense can present some problems sometimes against teams. I know they didn't do it in the last week of the season, but I just think Philadelphia is going to be too much here. And I know that the money from the public side has been heavy on San Fran. So, but if the line's moving, that's got to be sharps moving that line. So public's heavy on San Fran. Sharps are moving it the other way. Data suggests Eagles. I'm going to roll with Jalen Hurts. I think this is a game where the Eagles win by at least 10.
I can't believe you said that public money is on the 49ers.
Yeah, almost 70% of public bets, of spread bets.
On FanDuel, you're saying?
Yeah. Huh. And that was when the line was 4.5.
That's really surprising, isn't it?
Well, I think people are kind of enamored with Purdy and the offense and, McCaffrey. And let's face it, the Eagles offense hasn't been lighting it up really, going into the playoffs. But to me, again, the data, like I just read, really supports Jalen Hurts here. He's been unbelievably good in these spots. I love the way Philly's defense is playing. They're a scary group, and they've been getting better and better and better. And I just think, San Fran, their last outing out, I don't think were very impressive on offense. They got shut down basically. And I think this will be a situation that'll be very similar. I'm not a believer in San Francisco, especially with that kind of makeshift defense that Salah's got going there with these no-name guys. I mean, they lost too many good players on defense to go into Philadelphia and win this game, in my opinion. I think this is at least a 10-point win for Philadelphia.
Okay. I like San Francisco. This is the one I would say underdog. Okay. Sorry. Jags. Well, now the Jags are a favorite, but all week they've been a home dog. And I really, really think that the market and people have overreacted to what happened in the NFC. I was going to say the NFC Championship game, the fight for the number 1 seed last week, which was the Seattle San Francisco game, and Seattle absolutely dominated them,
throttled them.
And I think so. My feeling is market overreaction to that game, and I also think, okay, let me compare Seattle's defense to Philadelphia's, and I don't think there's a very good comparison at all.
There is.
I think Seattle's much better. I think trying to.
I don't agree with that at all.
I have it.
Don't agree with
the data.
Do not agree with you at all.
Okay,
definitely not much better. No way. I mean, Seattle's got the best defense in the league, but Philadelphia has got to be in the top 10.
Well, what do you think it's ranked?
I think Philadelphia is probably 9th or 10th, and Seattle's first.
Okay, let me just give you the weighted DVOA, which is recency bias cut, right? And Philadelphia is currently ranked 14th in the NFL. Their defense is ranked 7th, and their offense is 7th, and their offense is ranked 7th.
So I was right. I thought it was going to be top 10. It was actually 7th. So there's no way Seattle is way better on defense than Philadelphia.
Well, they're
one
first.
Is 1 and the other is 7.
Yeah, one's 1 and one's 7. But I just think I've seen, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Philly's defense is bad. I'm just saying the Seattle defense that the 49ers faced last week was much, much better. And you disagree with that. That's fine. But let me finish. I also think that we said this last season and even the season before on the podcast, when you think about the entire body of work of the Eagles this season, it's not great. And I know they're an amazing playoff team, and they're different when the playoffs come, and they're different at home, and they have this incredible home record.
Yes,
that is what it is, and I completely respect that. And when the line first came out, I was like, oh, I better jump on this while it's 3, and just try to lock this in. I didn't. I let it float. And I also I have this memory of other games that San Francisco played this year, like the game against the Rams, when they just went in there with nobody and ended up winning the game as a 7.5-point underdog. I kind of think we're going to get something very similar. I think the 49ers are going to be able to score the way you were talking about them last week and how many points they were going to score and how they can score on anyone. You were saying that about Seattle's defense, and yet you're not saying that now about the Eagle defense. Well, I am. I actually think they're going to be able to score. I'm just saying 14 points, Cello. And I actually think, given the struggles that the Philadelphia offense has, which, by the way, do you know what it's ranked?
It hasn't been great, but
17th. It's not even in the top half of the league. And we've seen them struggle to score all year long. And I just think that between Shanahan and Saleh and just motivated players, like they showed up, that like the ones that showed up in the Rams game, I just think that they're going to be able to keep a lid on how much Philly is going to be able to do on offense. And I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but I think they can keep, especially now I'm seeing numbers like 6 out there. I want to make a bet we're still 5.5, but I think they can keep it inside that number. And even if it was 3.5, I think I would like San Francisco, in historically, I like the Rams when they were in the NFC Championship getting 4.5 or 5, whatever it was. I like the Packers getting 4.5, 5. Those teams tend to cover. Philly tends to win these games by 3. I like the 49ers.
I don't know. I thought the data that I read before, I saw that Jalen Hurts at home in the playoffs, I mean, he wins these games by 21 points per game. So I don't know where you're remembering these games being close. But
I'm thinking the NFC Championship game against, whether it was at the Packers last year. No, that was Washington. They blew them out. Okay, fine. But weeks before, I don't know, average margin of victory, whatever. I'm just
saying, at home in the playoffs, he's 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the spread. He's winning those games by an average of 21 points. In the playoffs in the regular season, Jalen Hurts is 31-5 straight up as a home favorite, including 13-1 straight up in December or later. I locked in 4.5 already. I'm kind of happy it's running. Yeah. I think the sharps are right, and I think this game is not going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
I think San Fran is clearly the worst of the 3 teams in the NFC West. Clearly, I think if they had Bosa and they had Fred Warner, maybe I'd feel a little differently about it, but they don't. I think Philly's going to have their way with them.
Yeah. Look, I mean, who knows if I'll end up betting this, but Trent Williams questionable.
Well, listen, just terrible, if you like, terrible. I think Lane Johnson's coming back too. For Trent Williams is questionable. If Trent Williams doesn't play, maybe that's why the line's moving, because he's trending toward not playing. And that would make sense to me, because that's you can't bet on Tampa without Wirfs. You don't bet on, these teams without their best tackle. Most of the time, I think it's a good strategy, especially in the playoffs, especially against the champs.
Yeah, I don't think he practiced. I think you might be right that he may be the reason this is starting to run.
Yeah.
And I know already, with Fred Warner on IR, even Bethune, his backup is on IR. So they basically have this guy Kendricks at middle linebacker, who's replacement level at best. Gifford's questionable.
I think is the guy they got from Minnesota. I mean, Kendricks is a serviceable player. He's good, but
I know
depth. And I think Philly's gonna be too much for them, Jack. And listen, the line's telling you maybe the line's wrong. Sometimes the line moves are wrong, but I think Lane Johnson's gonna play, and I think Trent is not gonna play.
Yeah, so let me just check Lane Johnson real quick. Questionable. Let me just see his practice. Yeah, he's got the foot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he had just like Trent, he had just limited practice this week. So I don't know. Maybe both go, but neither one's 100% at best. I think that's what we're gonna get. Um. Anyway, I think I'm sticking with that opinion. And I have historically not been good handicapping the Eagles games, but
True. That's
that's what
true.
I think about this one. All right,
Okay.
let's move on. Last game, Sunday night game. God, man, they put the best games.
Oh,
They put the best games on Sunday and Monday night. That
they
is a
do.
fact with the AFC, baby.
It's sick.
Yeah, so we got New England 3.5, 45.5. I'm all about New England in this game. I'm sticking with, like kind of how you're approaching the Eagles. Well, you're kind of more approaching it from a data standpoint, but their home dominance. And if you're handicapping the Eagle 49er game based on injury, you're not going anywhere near 49ers. And I kind of am the same way in this game. Like I just think that offensive line is beyond repair.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it in, what was that game where we were heavy? Was that Houston? Houston Charger game when they got dominated. Yeah, that was, I think, week 17. I kind of see the same thing happening here, and it's a road game. They've struggled over the past month. They're coming into this thing. They're limping into this thing when Patriots are just clicking on all cylinders, as far as I'm concerned, and they're like destined to be playing in the AFC Championship game on some level. So I like the Pats here, only laying 3.5. I kind of was thinking this would be the game that would be okay. If you're thinking about Chargers, then maybe you'll get like 5.5, 6 by the time this thing kicks off, but it hasn't really moved. There's been definitely support for the Chargers this week. This thing hasn't moved an inch. What do you think?
The public's on New England. Almost 70% of the tickets,
Yeah.
spread bets are on New England. I guess it's not surprising. I like the Chargers a lot. I'm going to go with Harbaugh. Harbaugh as an underdog in the NFL with Herbert at quarterback is 4-0 straight up as an underdog this year. So also Herbert's played New England 4 times. He's 2-0 straight up and against the spread on the road against them. He's lost twice at home against them. So they're on the
But
road.
not as the Chargers coach.
I'm talking about Herbert as the Chargers quarterback.
I'm sorry, Herbert. I thought you said Harbaugh. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Herbert. So he's played better in New England than he does at home. I like the 3.5. I like Harbaugh in the playoffs here, and I like fading Drake May in his first appearance. I think this is a completely different season. I think he had a phenomenal MVP caliber season. Probably comes in second to Stafford, but I think this is a whole new thing. And I think the Patriots are a young team, and I think that that you could argue that Harbaugh is among the best coaches in the NFL, and he's got probably the best quarterback he's ever had. I mean, he got to the Super Bowl with Kaepernick, for God's sakes. So and he won a championship at Michigan with a quarterback, McCarthy, who's not as good as Herbert. So I know Herbert's got the hand. They can run the ball with O'Marion and Vidal. They have very good weapons on the outside, and they got a good tight end. And their defense, I think, is pretty stingy. I know it's not great, but it's pretty stingy in the secondary. And I think, with Jesse Minter running the defense, I think they'll be able to do a pretty good job against the deep ball that New England likes to throw. New England scores on deep passes. That's Drake May's bread and butter. And I don't think he's going to get him in this game. I don't think you can go over the top on the Chargers. You got to grind it out against the Chargers. The way New England's going to win this game is TreVeyon Henderson. If the TreVeyon Henderson has a couple of those slash runs and he gets in the second level, he's so fast that he's gone, and we've seen him do it all year. That's, I think, the recipe for New England. I don't think New England's going to be able to throw the ball over the top against Jesse Minter's defense. I just don't see it. And I'm taking the 3.5, and I have money line because I'm just going to say Harbaugh is going to outcoach Vrabel, and his quarterback is going to outplay Drake May, who's a rookie quarterback in his first playoff game. That's how I'm approaching it. I think 3.5 is the right side. And even if the Chargers lose, I like having the hook.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of strength on strength and weakness on weakness. Like when you look at the DVOA, and first of all, like this is the only team, the Chargers, that is, that's ranked outside the top half of the league. When you do the weighted, the Chargers are basically ranked 18th in the NFL based on a recency bias, and the Patriots are ranked fourth. Now, the matchup is interesting because New England has the fourth best offense and the 23rd defense. So their defense has not been great, but the Charger offense is 17th
Hmm.
and their defense is 10th. Sorry, their defense is 18th. Oh, no. Sorry, their defense. Hold on. That was wrong. Their defense is 10th. Yeah, I was
10th,
right.
yeah.
So 21st ranked offense. So, you know what I mean? Like strength on strength, weakness on weakness. I don't know. I just have not liked what the Chargers have been doing over the past month. I hear what you're saying about going against all the debutantes that are in the playoffs, which is Caleb and Drake May and
Just the first quarterbacks starting their first game. And
yeah.
listen, Drake May plays and Caleb does too. Those two guys play. They don't play like young quarterbacks. I mean, they're way ahead of schedule in terms of their maturity. I understand that. Although I would say this, Caleb, we've talked about his accuracy issues are real. When he's in the pocket, he's not an accurate passer.
Right.
He's an
Drake May
amazing,
is
incredible off-schedule player. Drake
Yeah.
May is a great pocket passer.
Yep.
Tremendous. I just don't think you're going to get those deep crosses and deep routes against Jesse Minter's defense. He's not going to let them do that. He's going to make New England run the ball and throw it underneath and try and tackle. And that's how he's going to play this game. So, those easy long touchdowns that New England gets against Miami and the Jets and Buffalo and every other shit team they played this year because they had the worst schedule, they're not getting that against Minter's defense. I'm telling you right now. I don't think you're going to see that. I
agree.
I don't think how they're going to win.
I agree with that take, and I also think that won't be their strategy. Like I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna try to. It's going to be death by 1,000 cuts for the Chargers.
That's what I'm saying. Like you got to throw it underneath, and that's what the Chargers want, though. They want to keep the ball in front of them, and they rally and they tackle. And if you're going to play with Ramonde, and you're going to play with Hunter Henry, and you're going to play with these like short, shallow crosses, and try and get guys running that way, that's I think what the Patriots are going to try and do. But I like Herbert. I think Herbert is a guy with Harbaugh that can make a real run. I think Herbert, he has had the ability his whole career. He's never had the coach. Now he's got the coach. If he doesn't turn it over and he plays smart, he is he's a quarterback that potentially could make a Super Bowl run with Jim Harbaugh. So the Chargers to me are an amazing road money line team. Especially against a young Patriots team. So I know the public's on New England. I know people are enamored with Drake May, and rightly so. I know that people like Vrabel as a coach, and I do too. But I just think Harbaugh is going to have this team ready to go. And I think they're not looking to win one game. They're looking to win 4 games.
Okay. Let's wrap it up.
Can I tell you one more thing I think is just fun for us? Guess who the referee is for that game?
Who?
Black Glasses.
And his name is?
Ron Torbort.
Torbort, yeah. So, it's funny. It's funny. I named him. So
yes, you did. That's great. And now all of Doug's friends, we all on our chat.
I know. When I was at your house, Labor Day weekend, and I heard Doug saying Black Glasses, I cracked up. And then Jesse said it.
Every day, every week on Red Zone, every single week, wherever we see him, the immediate text goes out on the string. Hey, Black Glasses in Tampa, Black Glasses in New England. So good.
So there's usually a lot of flags in his games. However, he calls, as Troy Aikman pointed out to me once, he calls a very good game.
He does.
You never will say in his games that was a bad call.
Wow.
If you pay attention,
he gets a lot right.
He gets it right. He gets it right. It's you never, and you see, we watch so much football where you find yourself saying, "What the fuck are the refs doing in this game?" You never say that when he's reffing,
No,
but you do see oh, there's the hold. Yep, it's coming.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so we don't agree on this one. Final game of the week, we got the Houston Texans going to Pittsburgh. You got that early line at 3.5, didn't you? You were begging me. Where are the lines? I knew you wanted to bet that.
I jumped on that as fast as I could. I'm like, I need that hook bad because I think it's going to be close. We know Texans defense is amazing. I know you have the numbers on it. I would be surprised if they're not top 3 in the NFL. And they've just been incredible on defense. And listen, D'Amico Ryan's done a good job. Stroud has gotten better. They have that extra receiver now, Higgins, who's been very good. And we know the Steelers secondary has to be better. We just got torched by Lamar Jackson, who I thought made some incredible plays. I mean, he made plays getting out of sacks a couple times and throwing for touchdowns that I couldn't even believe a quarterback could make. So that's Lamar Jackson. He's an MVP. Stroud is not as elusive. You've told me that since day one, that he's really not a running quarterback, the Ohio State kid. He's like, he doesn't want to run. Their offensive line isn't great. This game comes down really to me is a couple things. Houston in the playoffs, 6-2 against the spread at home, 0-6 against the spread on the road. Steelers have an amazing record on Monday Night Football. I don't know if they put this game on Monday Night Football because of that, the NFL, I have no idea, but it's definitely not going to hurt us. We tend to play pretty good at night on Monday night under Tomlin. The exact stats I'll read to you. They're pretty unbelievable. He is 23-5 straight up. Yeah. So if we're getting points, the against the spread stuff doesn't really matter there. He wins games at home on Monday night a lot, and the team's going to be ready to go.
I don't know if you have this. One thing, I mean, I've been hearing that stat all week, no matter what show I turn on or what podcast I listen to. But what is his record, if there even is one, on Monday nights in the playoffs? Because those to me are all regular season.
I don't
numbers.
Think. I don't think there have been any Monday night playoff games. I don't remember any of them ever.
Yeah,
this might be the first one.
Yeah, it's always like I've been hearing that all week, and every time I hear it, I'm like, well, against who? Cleveland.
Well, did you hear the stat I gave you about the Texans, that they're 0-6 against the spread in the playoffs on the road? Did you even know that?
Yeah, I knew they haven't.
They have not been good on the road.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean they and they're favored here.
I know.
Listen, it's one thing if Houston was getting 3, then I think you can make an argument to bet Houston. But I don't think there's much of an argument to be made here for Houston. Mm-hmm. They don't have an explosive offense. You're relying on a defense. You're going into a building where Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers at home on a Monday night. I mean, I get it. He's got to get the ball out of his hands quick. They're going to be coming after him. He's going to get hit. But I think he's ready for it. And I think we're getting DK Metcalf back. Like the last 2 games, we haven't had our best player. So I think it's a boost for us. I think 3.5 is a gift, and that's why it went to 3. But honestly, Jack, and this is just me talking. I mean, I thought the minute they signed Aaron Rodgers, they signed him for this run. They got a home playoff game. They got to win it. They can't lose to the Houston Texans in the first round. It would be unacceptable. The reason you got Aaron Rodgers is because you've lost 6 of these fucking games the last 6 times you played. Now's the time I think it changes. I don't think you're going to need the points. I have a very large money line bet on Pittsburgh. I'd be shocked if they lost, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not with you. I was with you last week, but This is where I think the rubber meets the road for your aging quarterback and your, not top of half of the league offense. I think like we're going to see a very dominant performance by this just incredible defense. I think, again, it's strength on strength, weakness on weakness. Like, this is the number 2 defense in the league, only behind Seattle. Your offense is ranked. Pittsburgh is 16th. So not even top half of the league. Your defense, I have ranked 11th. Your defense is ranked 11th. And I just think Houston's offense has been kind of impressive over the last month. Like they're getting some big plays. The offensive line has gelled a little bit. They've been running the ball well. Stroud has looked much better, and they also they tend to get these. They get these boomer. It's not boomer bust, but they've been making big plays. And when I think about Pittsburgh, I think about that defense giving up big plays, like
Yes.
especially at the end of the Baltimore game. Not to
Yes.
mention the Cleveland game. Not to mention, I can't even remember how many times I said down the stretch with you guys, how is that guy wide open? Why is there somebody walking into the end zone against your defense? And it
Yeah.
happens. And I
Yeah.
kind of like think about Houston. I forget who they played. And maybe it was Denver, or maybe it was the Charger game when they just busted, 2 big plays to open the game. And they were up 14-0. I don't know. I think, Cello, this is it. I think like it does remind me a little bit of what happened to you guys in the Cleveland game, which was a similar defense. We were ranked top 5. We're not nearly as good as Houston, but there was pressure all day on Rodgers and he looked terrible. I
think there's some reasons for that, honestly, Jack. I think the losing of DK Metcalf not playing, and
for sure,
and also our number 1 tight end broke his arm on the second play of the game. So like we basically, and also we were looking ahead to Baltimore. Let's face it, we weren't ready to play Cleveland in that game. I mean that to me was a sandwich spot. It was a perfectly teed up game for Cleveland to win. I'm surprised Myles Garrett didn't get the record in that game. He should have, but. This is different. The numbers I look at, and I love this stat also. Super Bowl winning quarterbacks as underdogs, 64, 25, and 2 against the spread in the playoffs. So, hold on.
I hear what you're saying. And by the way, I think Aaron Rodgers is the smartest quarterback playing this weekend. He's obviously the most experienced. He's got a Super Bowl ring, and he's, from a brain and just sort of football IQ, there's no one even close to him playing this weekend.
An interesting stat
from a physical standpoint,
Rodgers is when Rodgers faces a defense allowing 18 points or less, and Houston allows 17.4. He is 9-1-1 against the spread.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little contrarian into what you would think. Like he knows he's got to get rid of the ball. He knows, but he can outthink these coverages a lot of times. And he doesn't often turn it over. I think Boswell will have a good game. I'm expecting our defense to play better than they played against Baltimore. Honestly, I think what happened with the Baltimore game to me was the defense was hyper-focused on Derrick Henry. And we had so many guys in the box that Zay Flowers is just too fast. He runs right by people. When you're trying to prevent Derrick Henry from running for 200 yards, you're committing a lot of your guys up into the box. And first of all, Zay Flowers is faster than our guys anyway on the back end. So, I mean, it made it look a little exaggeratedly worse, I think, because of
how is Nico Collins and Higgins and Kirk and Schultz going to be any different from that? They're arguably a better wide receiver core.
I think the answer to that is CJ Stroud is nowhere near as good as Lamar Jackson. Not even, I mean, he's not going to be able to evade the rush. Highsmith, Herbig, Cam Hayward's been playing great. TJ Watt is back. We're going to get pressure. Houston's offensive line is not very good. So it's going to be more of a defensive game. I mean, I guess if you like the total, you probably like the under. I don't even know what the total is. But this to me is like 19-17, 20-16, something really, really. This is one of these low scoring type of games. Yeah. I'm riding with Aaron. I think he's going to get it done. And I think DK is going to get in the end zone against the Texans, even though Stingley will probably be on him. Stingley got torched last week against the Colts. I mean, twice by Pierce. I mean, I couldn't believe how bad Stingley played, but
he also got hurt, by the way.
Did he get hurt? Okay, good.
He was banged up. Let me just check on his status. I'm glad you brought that up, but I'm more concerned that he's fine. Actually, I'm more concerned. Oh, sorry, it was Lassiter who got hurt. Mm-hmm. Lassiter, he was limited, so I think that's an issue. But yeah, Stingley will probably play against DK, and Bullock and Petrie. Miles Bryant. I mean, these guys are great. This defense is so good.
They got a great defense. It's not going to be easy for Pittsburgh. Yeah. But I think with the crowd and the defense will play better. We have a good kicker. I just can't imagine Aaron Rodgers coming here and getting to this spot and losing to the Houston Texans. I don't see it. I'm sorry. This is not a Hall. And we're not talking about the 85 Bears here. And I mean, don't make the Texans out to be more than they are. And it's going to be
I'm not. I just think I just think they're just like the Jags. They're trending. You know what I mean? Like I kind of like in years past when they made it, and I don't know if that was last year or the year before when they sort of like weren't playing well the final month and they beat the Browns. Remember when Joe Flacco like got us in, and then they went to Baltimore and got blown out. Like I just think they're trending, and I look at like their body of work, the fact that they went into Kansas City and sort of ended their season. They blow out the Cardinals, which everyone did, but going in there and beating, the Chargers on the road, like they've had those two games are really the reason why I like them. And this will be my final comment on this game. The fact that in the last month of the season, they went and beat the Chiefs and ended their season essentially, and then did the same to the Chargers on December 27th. I'm looking at those two games as like the reason why I think these guys can make a run in the playoffs. I like Houston.
All right. Good luck to you.
So the only games we agree on are the Rams and the Packers. I kind of reluctantly would do that, but
Rams and Packers. You're on the Jags. I'm rooting for the Bills, but I'm scared. I didn't bet the game. You like the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't.
And I like Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And you like Buffalo.
No, I didn't bet Buffalo, but I'm rooting for them.
Right. Okay.
I don't have an action on them.
Yeah. So we don't really have any picks this week.
Our picks would be Green Bay, would be today.
Yeah.
We both like the Rams and Green Bay.
Yep.
Those are our picks. If you follow in our picks, guys, and you want to bet a cello jack parlay, it's Green Bay and the Rams.
Yeah, I may put the newsletter out this afternoon because the games are starting, and I'll say we have a slight lean on those. But our record for this regular season is in, and it's done, and we're proud of it.
Great season.
It was a great year, and now it's playoffs time. We got invitations went out yesterday for the NFL playoff pool. That's going to be another, just like the Bowl Bonanza, $100 cash. So everybody.
Oh, by the way, did you see that I'm in first place in the Bowl Bonanza?
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Did you have Indiana?
Did you bet or 100,000 parlay?
Indiana, oh my God.
Miami, Indiana.
Awesome, Joe.
Yes, sir.
So let's get it going with the NFL playoffs. I'll remind everybody about that today. So I'll post the pod and I'll try to get the newsletter out before I head into the city for my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, I gotta run and do some stuff. So listen, have a great day. Good luck with your picks. Let's talk offline. Guys, if you're in Megabucks, it's going to be an unbelievable finish. Everyone is literally in it. It's like, yeah, I've never seen it this close. It's going to be sick. It's really sick.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll